Paris Fashion Week used to be a sacred institution. The ultimate fusion of creativity and culture, where the elite of the elite met under glittering chandeliers to celebrate innovation in couture. But this year? It was a circus. And not the classy, Moulin Rouge kind. No, this was full-blown celebrity desperation meets high-end confusion. Models dripping in latex breastplates. Influencers crashing runways. Anna Wintour rolling her eyes from behind her dark shades. And somewhere in the middle of all this chaos stood Kim Kardashian, glassy-eyed, sluggish, drowning in diamonds, and somehow still the most disappointing part of the entire event. It started, as it always does, with Kim. She was slated to walk for Balenciaga, the brand she just can't quit, even after it was globally shamed for featuring children in disturbingly suggestive campaigns. Most celebrities distanced themselves after the scandal, but not Kim. Not the woman who built an empire out of controversy. She doubled down. Because for her, scandal isn't a liability, it's PR fuel. So there she was again, cloaked in black, wearing 250 carats of diamonds that probably weighed more than her entire body, walking, or rather shuffling, down the runway like she was trying to balance an invisible tray on her head. And it wasn't just bad, it was meme-worthy. One viral comment said she walked like a drunk aunt trying not to fall in heels at a family wedding. Another said she looked like she was sneaking in at 2 a.m. after breaking curfew. The front row, filled with top-tier designers and journalists, didn't even bother to pretend to clap. Most were looking at their phones. A few looked downright annoyed. One editor was even seen whispering something into her assistant's ear and then visibly rolling her eyes. For a woman who once shut down the internet with a photo, the silence spoke volumes. But here's where it gets messy. Paparazzi later caught Kim backstage, clearly on her phone, Googling herself. Yes, zoomed-in shots reveal she was looking up headlines about her own appearance, or worse, editing a photo of herself mid-show. Fans online were torn. Some thought it was a setup. Others believed it was a sad peek behind the curtain, a desperate woman watching her influence evaporate in real time. And maybe that's the truth, Kim Kardashian, the woman who used to dominate every news cycle, now relying on desperate vanity tactics just to stay trending for 48 hours. This might explain why sources close to her claim she had a breakdown at Jeff Bezos and Lauren Sanchez's wedding earlier this year. It was supposed to be her moment, an ultra-exclusive $40 million event packed with billionaires and A-listers. But instead of basking in the glow, she was sidelined. Why? 2 words, Sydney Sweeney. The Euphoria star was everywhere that night. She danced with Tom Brady until 2 a.m., sipped champagne with Orlando Bloom, and was photographed at every angle looking like a modern-day Grace Kelly. Kim? She lingered in the background. And insiders say it hit her hard. She won't admit it publicly, but she was devastated, one source claimed. Watching Sydney take over the spotlight was like watching her own stardom slip away in slow motion. Apparently, Kim left Venice early, visibly upset and whispering to her assistant, "It was supposed to be me." And it wasn't just about Sydney. There's speculation that Kim expected some kind of soft launch with Tom Brady at that wedding. The two had been rumored to be casually dating, and there were whispers she was hoping for a public moment, a photo, a dance, a headline. Instead, he spent the night cozying up to Sydney while Kim floated from table to table, ignored. Some believe that moment sent her into full PR overdrive, explaining her bizarre stunts in Paris, from the pink bodysuit with the attached boot pants to the accidental phone exposure backstage. Now, while Kim was spiraling, another woman was entering her era. Lauren Sánchez. Fresh off her Bezos wedding and high off the power of being the richest bride on earth, Lauren arrived at Paris Fashion Week like she owned it. But instead of making a splash, she made everyone cringe. She was spotted carrying Balenciaga's now infamous 9 a.m. clutch, a $6,000 bag that looks like a disposable coffee cup. It's made of calfskin, yes, literal baby cow, complete with a brass lid. And if that doesn't scream out of touch, nothing does. Lauren posed like she was on her 3rd glass of champagne and her first day on earth. She tried to sneak into pictures with Anna Wintour. She followed celebrities around like a lost plus one. And according to fashion insiders, she might actually be banned from some shows next season. She was acting like she bought the event, one unnamed designer said. Always asking to be seated in the front row. Always asking photographers to retake pictures. Some have speculated that Lauren is trying to position herself as the next fashion girly, perhaps to build a brand of her own. Others think she just wants to prove she belongs in these circles. But either way, it wasn't giving luxury. It was giving Real Housewives in Paris cosplay. Speaking of Real Housewives, Rinna was also there. And she may have been the most tragic figure of all. Dressed in a shiny, oversized coat that looked like a sleeping bag from a discount camping store, Lisa marched around Paris like she was late for a QVC promo shoot. She screamed about couture to anyone who'd listen, told cameras to check the tag, and posed next to street lamps like they were paparazzi. Social media didn't hold back. Comments called her outfit Bed Bath & Beyond chic and said she looked like she was auditioning for a French reboot of Survivor. The general consensus? Lisa is trying very hard to get back on Real Housewives, and this was her way of manifesting Bravo's attention. But then, like a phoenix rising from the ashes of this chaos, Cardi B entered the chat. And she didn't just arrive, she dominated. Cardi has always had a flair for the dramatic, but this year she leaned all the way in. Her first look? A gown made entirely of blooming red flowers that trailed behind her like a garden on fire. Her second? A gothic raven-inspired ensemble, complete with a live crow. Yes, a real bird. Perched on her gloved hand, staring directly into the camera like it knew something we didn't. Was it a warning to Offset? A message to her haters? A fashion statement? Maybe all three. Cardi didn't flinch. She didn't beg for attention. She commanded it. And that's the difference between Cardi and the others, she's not trying to be something she's not. She's raw. She's theatrical. And it works. One viral tweet read, "Cardi didn't walk Paris Fashion Week. She devoured it." Meanwhile, back on the actual runways, things took a disturbing turn. One show featured male models in hyper-feminized latex torsos, breastplates, abs, you name it. Others wore full-body plastic armor that looked like superhero Halloween costumes. A designer at Rick Owens made models wade through water before walking, leaving them soaked, shivering, and visibly uncomfortable. There were literal screams backstage. One model slipped and had to be carried off. What's going on? Paris Fashion Week has become less about fashion and more about virality. One designer even admitted in a post-show interview that the outrageous designs are meant to go viral first, sell later. If it doesn't trend, it doesn't sell, they said. And maybe that's true. Maybe this is the future. But it feels cheap. Manufactured. Hollow. And then, the punch. A live streamer named JCO, known for street content, was broadcasting from outside a show when a fan approached for a photo. JCO declined politely. The fan refused to back off. And within seconds, a physical altercation broke out, on stream. The internet watched in real time as punches were thrown, security tried to intervene, and the chaos of Paris Fashion Week reached a violent crescendo. It wasn't about clothes anymore. It was about spectacle. So what did this year teach us? It taught us that fame is fragile. That Kim Kardashian's empire, once invincible, is starting to crack. That Sánchez can buy a wedding but not credibility. That fashion can be loud, absurd, and still say nothing. That even the most prestigious runway in the world is now fighting for views, likes, and memes. And that Cardi B, through it all, might be the last one who gets it. Because in a sea of tryhards, she wasn't trying. She was being. And maybe that's what fashion needs right now. Not another viral outfit or billionaire bride, but a reminder that authenticity still has a place on the runway. Even if the runway is now more of a red carpet circus than a place of art.